Finally, Antonelli stretched his winning run to 5 races, overcoming a late restart to see off Lewis Hamilton for a supreme Monaco victory amid a wild conclusion to F1's most famous event, and with Mercedes teammate and chief title rival George Russell finishing outside the points in 12th after a late drive-through penalty compounded a troubled weekend, the 19-year-old Antonelli now leads the Drivers' World Championship by 66 points after 6 rounds of what currently stands at a 22-round campaign. Hamilton moves ahead of Russell into second in the standings after the Ferrari driver finished second to Antonelli for the second race running. Hamilton and teammate Charles Leclerc both jumped in a powerless Max Verstappen immediately at the start. The Dutchman's Red Bull quickly hitting race engine problems from the front row to run second and third, but they could not keep up with the flying Antonelli from pole. The Italian led by almost 30 seconds before the first of 2 late race safety cars for separate crashes at street circuit's final corners, and the race was ultimately suspended so officials could complete track repairs. Lance Stroll was the first to crash at the first turn before home hero Leclerc did the same just as the field was getting ready for the restart. The race eventually resumed 40 minutes later for the Grand Prix's last 8 laps with a second standing start from the grid. Again, Antonelli made no mistake at the lights with Hamilton next to him on the front row to ensure his victory in F1's most legendary race at just the second attempt. No doubt you're looking at generational talent, Martin Brundle said. On a day where it's unusually high number of drivers, including Hamilton and Russell, were handed 5-second penalties, Alpine's Pierre Gasly dropped out of what would have been a stunning podium position due to 2 sanctions being applied to his final race time. A heartbroken Gasly was instead classified 7th, and the team later appealed the decision. We'll have to see where that goes. Gasly's penalties promoted countryman Isaac Hadjar to the podium for the first time since his winter arrival at Red Bull, a result the Frenchman kept after being cleared in a post-race investigation over an alleged rules infringement under red flag. McLaren's deficit kind of continued with Oscar Piastri in a flattering 4th, but world champion teammate Lando Norris, last year's victor, suffering a technical race retirement in a row. With the usual front runners like Russell, Leclerc, Norris and Verstappen all failing to score, Racing Bulls cashed in for their best points haul since 2021 with Liam Lawson in 5th and Arvid Lambert a career best 6th. Alex Albon was 8th for Williams ahead of Ocon in 9th. Sergio Perez crossed the line in 10th for what would have been Cadillac's first points, but he was given a 5-second penalty for jumping the start, promoting Fernando Alonso for his first points of the season. If the narrow barrier lined Monaco circuit serves as the ultimate test of driver speed and precision in qualifying, then for drivers' concentration levels across 78 laps, Antonelli passed both with flying colours, while Verstappen's failure to get away from second on the front row certainly helped his cause, but he finally converted the pole position into a first lap lead this season. The Italian made no mistakes with his own getaway, quickly unleashing his precocious pace. The Monaco Grand Prix is about tyre conservation at the front before drivers eventually pushed the lead, but to the usual stop, single round of pit stops, but Antonelli ripped up that convention, blasting away the Ferraris immediately. He was 4 seconds ahead of Hamilton by the time lap 5 came around, and while the 7-time world champ briefly came back at him to suggest there might yet be a battle for the win as the race developed, Antonelli's lead was up beyond 12 seconds by the time he fitted on lap 29. It's unbelievable what he's been able to deliver. So Toto Wolff having control, he's at times 1.5 seconds quicker than anyone. Antonelli, who had led a staggering near 30s by lap 60 when safety car was first called out, when Stroll found a barrier at Anthony knows, it meant his big lead was wiped out, and when Leclerc obviously crashed out, it led to that red flag, meaning he could have the ignominy of losing the lead at the start, but unfortunately for him that didn't happen, and he was able to see off Hamilton and bring it home. It's been an incredible weekend, said Antonelli. It's one of those days where we had an incredible pace. It's so natural, the car's giving me an incredible feeling, so it's very enjoyable. But for George Russell, I mean, it's unravelling, isn't it really? 2 weeks after the heartache of retiring in Canada, he was bamboozled by his deficit to qualifying. His race from the third row is always going to be damage limitation, with overtaking opportunities around Monaco obviously pretty low, but yeah, surely he was expecting more from this. Russell became one of the number of drivers handed a 5-second penalty. He appeared to have served that penalty under the safety car, but it turns out he didn't, with Mercedes touching his car during that 10-second period, and stewards clamped down on this hard, issuing a drive-through penalty, meaning he had to go through the pit lane soon after the race restart, dropping into the back of the field. And yeah, obviously from there it'd be very, very difficult for him to get past him when he couldn't do it. 5 seconds was not ideal, he said, but then he didn't really know what to say when it came to the later penalties. Just feels like he's losing things out of control. And yeah, dropping behind Lewis Hamilton now in the standings, it's quite incredible. 68 points. I mean, obviously there's a long way to go, but yeah, it does feel like a big deficit for him to make up, doesn't it? And before I go, let me run you through the classification from the Grand Prix. Anthony coming up on top, and yeah, you'd have to say that's probably his drive of the season. So in control, such a tough circuit, incredible. Lewis Hamilton, I think probably would have hoped to be a bit closer in terms of pace to Anthony, but still maximising the results, and his great form continues. For Hadjar, battling all of those issues, incredible job from him. Piastri, I mean, yeah, probably maximised his result on a very tough weekend for McLaren, so fair play to him. And then Vicar really bringing home the points when others had issues, huge result for them. For Gasly, I'm absolutely devastated for obviously getting caught out in that pit lane. You'll have to see if the review comes to anything. But yeah, he thought he had that podium, so huge disappointment for him. Albon and 8, so I think we'll be pretty happy with that. Good results for him. Ocon as well stuck into the points as well as Alonso, getting those points for Aston Martin. Obviously pretty lucky, but you know, it's at least something, isn't it? I think Audi 11th and 13th, obviously Hulkenberg with that penalty correctly, so will be very, very disappointed to miss out. It kind of felt like a chance for them, and it's just not really going their way so far this season. Russell, I mean, we've touched on it as well, but huge disappointment for him, and yeah, it's not looking good for him. And then Perez, that is a gutter, isn't it? For Cadillac, I mean, yeah, must have thought they had it. So yeah, they'll be devastated with that. Williams in 16th with Carlos Sainz, obviously frustrated by that incident. Leclerc, I don't know, it just feels like he's made too many mistakes this weekend, doesn't it? Stroll getting caught out as well, causing all of the chaos. And then Norris, Verstappen, etc. having reliability issues, not really been Beerman's weekend. And yeah, Bottas, that Cadillac, still having intermittent reliability issues, obviously to be expected in their early days. Okay guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily F1 news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.